fade. And that's the thing I'll mention it in the smoking video. By God's mercy, I remember to say it, but I'll say it here just in case I don't say it in another video. You have to be, if I can remember now, because I think it slipped my mind. But basically, yeah, you have to be careful when it comes to taking these things, because you always fixing to get another hit. And I remember now, no amount of drugs you take can last for 24 hours. And that's something I thought about when I was smoking. It's like, you can smoke, if you think about it, even if you smoke for 24 hours, would it be enough? If I could literally sit and have a cigarette for 24 hours, would it be enough? And the answer to that, of course, is no. And also when you realize about anything that has to do with addiction, anything that has to do with excess, is that it's never enough. There's never a point you get to where you say enough is enough. You're always going to want more. You're always going to want to have that next hit. And there's no drug that you take that lasts 24 hours. None. Yes, you might even try and get yourself cooked up, but you're going to have that clarity at some point, whether you like it or not. And for drugs, it's actually more possible. Well, I think anything is possible if people put their mind to it, even though it's kind of sad if someone wants to put their mind to being high for 24 hours in a day. But that's the reality of life. People tend to put their mind in things that they don't need to put their minds into. And it just goes to show you the strength of the human spirit as God made us, because when people focus on doing certain things like doing drugs, all of a sudden their life becomes about drugs. And I won't say it's hilarious, it's just kind of surreal when you watch people take something on and then it becomes their life. Like it literally becomes their life. It literally becomes all they're about. So honestly, if you look back on your life, think about it, you get to, because when you're young, a lot of things are possible, and sometimes you might attribute things to the stupidity of youth, but some people carry this stuff into old age, and when you get to old age, whether you like it or not, you're going to at some point look back in your life, and you'll be looking back in your life all through your life, all through your growth, all through the youth to middle age to old age. You're going to be looking back through your life, but it gets more, how do I put it, more overbearing the older you get, because you have more of a life to look back on, and then you look and see all the times you took these drugs, you took these substances, and you just made a fool of yourself all through your life. And some of you might find yourself in jail as a result of making these life decisions, this spur of the moment life decisions that doesn't benefit anybody and doesn't benefit you. And that's something that people tend to do very quickly, which is kind of annoying. People like to make decisions that doesn't benefit anybody and doesn't benefit them. Any decision that you make that doesn't really benefit anybody and doesn't benefit you is something that you should avoid at all costs. A lot of people who are promoting drugs, check their life in the next anything between 2 to 5 years, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think if you know that they're still on those things. Tell me how they look like, and that should give you your answer. You see some of them going to the gym religiously, they may be trying to compensate for something. But you see some of them, for what I've seen, a lot of them look haggard. A lot of them look like someone who is 40 would look like he's 60 or 70 because of taking drugs. And that's why I said that a lot of time when you're young and you're talking about this stuff, a lot of people get away with talking about all sorts of things when they're young. That's what people don't understand. It's like when you're young, anything goes. Like you have a guy who is a pop star and he's talking about, like drinking water, and it's very fascinating to anyone looking at him, depending on how handsome he is as a guy, and depending on how pretty he is as a woman. Anything they say will look cool to you. You understand? Because there's that glory of youth. There's that power of youth that they have, that anything you say seems to make sense. But just wait until you get older, and then you start to ask yourself, and this applies to pretty much everything in life. Wait till you get older and see what that person looks like, practicing that thing. Ask yourself, was it worth it? And is this something that they could have learned while they were young? Because there's nothing better than serving God when you're young. Because I appreciate that some people give their lives to God when they're old, but to me, you've pretty much, I won't say you wasted life, because God has a reason for everything. But for me personally, I would believe it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your life if you've never known what it means to serve God, what it's like to serve God as a young man. You waited till you were old before you decided to listen to what God had to say. And it doesn't work like that. God is the one who draws you to Him, not the other way around. So if God has chosen you at that age, it's for a reason, and there's no need to feel bad, obviously. But personally, I would prefer to know God from a very, very young age, possibly from when I was born. And that's pretty much how it's been. I've always known who God is, even if I didn't understand, certain things as I do now by God's mercy. But that's what it is. A lot of these people who promote these things, you find a lot of them are young. It look very nice saying what they're saying, but look, as in, check them out in the next 2 to 5 years, and tell me what you think about their life. If their life has really become really wholesome, and they don't look like ish at that time, because of this same joy that they're promoting incessantly for whatever reason, for whatever agenda that they may have. That's another thing that people don't take on board, is that a lot of the people that you find promoting this thing, promoting these substances, may have an agenda. This is not beyond the realm of possibility that might be the actual case. You, of all people, know who these people are more than any of us. You can do a bit of research on them. Just try and look and see, why would this person be promoting this? What is his reason for promoting this? Because I've seen that there's a lot of people, even among dark-skinned people, that like to promote taking drugs, taking marijuana. And I've asked this question: how does marijuana help our people? How does it help us be a nation? How does it help us to come back to God? How does it help us to be useful members of society? Would you like a doctor to be on marijuana while it was operating on you? Would you like that? That's the question you should ask yourself. Would you like somebody who is on marijuana to be driving next to you would you like someone who's on marijuana to be driving behind you in the car? In a more or less traffic jam, not traffic jam, but like in a stop move situation. Would you like someone like that behind you? Would you like the person to be in full control of their senses? Because now you're you're basically under that person's mercy. You're basically under their mercy, depending on how well their body can process those substances, which is scary. Because because there's a lot of people out there who will tell you, oh, if I take drugs, nothing happens to me, I have a very good time, and so on and so forth, blah 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 blah, the usual. But there's always going to be that contingent of people who cannot handle their drink, who cannot handle their drugs. And you tell me if you like someone driving behind you on the highway. You tell me. That's the reality. That's the reality of taking drugs. People don't think about this. All they think about is, oh, this person said, oh, taking drugs will mess your brain up. But I've been taking drugs for centuries. They will never tell you the things that they did. They will never tell you the time they woke up the following morning and they didn't know where they were in the gutter. They won't tell you that. That's another thing with people, is that when people have an agenda, they like to hide things and they like to be dishonest, and that is what they and that's where God is really going to destroy a lot of people, and I will be happy when God does that, because that this thing that you're doing is leading you to be in certain positions that you are far less than desirable, yet you would never mention these positions to people for whatever reason. There's always someone that has an agenda who will not tell you what the effects of using these things are. They will hide the effects of using these things from you. All anyone ever has to ask themselves about anything in this world is one, how does it benefit you? How does this make you a better human being? Using these substances or practicing any sort of thing that you're practicing in your life. It applies to everything. What is the benefit? And if this person is promoting this thing and there's side effects of using this thing that they haven't mentioned, why is that the case? Why are they hiding the effects of these things? Why are they not telling you what the effects of using these substances really is? Why are they not telling you people that they've seen use it and people they've seen die from it, people that they've seen go mad from it, people that they've seen go crazy from it? Why have they never mentioned those people to you? I just have to tell you that in all their life of smoking, they've never seen anybody lose their mind using drugs. There's no way you would tell me that they haven't experienced that. I'm sorry. That's not how it works in this world. When you're in a position like me now, how many times have I been out? Yet I've seen someone get stabbed. So talk less of somebody who takes drugs and is around people who take drugs. There's no way you're not going to tell me that you haven't seen people who have taken drugs and the life is in a shambles. And let me tell you something as well that you also need to know, that there's God's judgment waiting for people who are doing things that do not benefit anybody and promoting it to other people. You're going to see that judgment in that person's life before they leave this world. As God has made me to understand, you will see it. You will see it for yourself, and then you will tell me whether it makes sense to follow this lifestyle or not. I'll not be the one to tell you, because I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm not telling you what my own viewpoint on taking drugs is. Whether you follow what I'm saying is up to you. Taking drugs is something that you don't need to be doing. You just don't need to be doing, because in this day and age, with so many things going on, we're at the end of the world. Jesus Christ is coming back soon for his people. So many things are happening. Russia is threatening America. So many things are happening, and you don't need to be high. I get that some of these things are not very nice to hear, that things are actually quite depressing for those people that have that empathy. But you don't need to lie to your body. Don't get coked up because of some of the things that you see. I know that some people out there have that heart. They don't like to see those things, and some of them turn to drugs or turn to whatever else it is they want to turn to. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just let it go. Let it go into the ether, and you just move on your life. Just take things one step at a time. From there, trust in God to give you the power to do what He wants you to do, and part of which is for you to not have to rely on substances to live a fulfilling day-to-day life. You were not born with substances in your bloodstream, and you don't need substances now to live a fulfilling life in God, regardless of whether you're a Jew or not. So this is to my people. Every video I make is to my people. If there are other people out there who listen to it and gain something from it, fine. But this is to the YTBC and to the black community at large, all scattered all over the world. Don't take drugs. The government, entertainment, they push all these things, and you don't need to be involved in any of these things. It's not worth it. It's a waste of time. There's something I wanted to say, but I don't remember right now. But if it's something that needs for me to make an additional video on, I will. To God be the praise. To God be the glory.